Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, my participants. Soumya, please can you take the session, Soumya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Soumya. Thank you, wonderful participants. Good afternoon, one and all.
Yeah, I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yes, Soumya.
Okay, let us continue. Okay, now let us see. We have talked everything about RPA and what is RPA doing today and what all impact the RPA is actually making. So let us see the journey of RPA. Like in past, right? What does the process automation was? So it was just simple things like Excel. In Excel, the macros, click training and screen scraping. These were all the small process automations that we were used earlier. And today, if we say RPA is object oriented, it is capable of operating on multiple systems as we discussed, and it is also capable of doing the error handling, the exception handling. Okay, capable of complex data based decision, where here, right, when we say complex data based decision and neural network training and cognitive models and robotic decision making, here where RPA along with the features of AI come in. Okay, so if we need to classify today's RPA in a broad way, we can classify them into four. So these are all the four types. Okay, when I say automating simple processes, these are very basic processes like the Excel operations that we do, copying of the data, moving of the data from one place to the another place, renaming of the data, performing some calculations with the data. These are all the very simple processes. When it came to programmable solution bots, here the software bots were able to interact with the other applications like other portals. Application to application communication was happening here. And when it comes to self-learning tools, so they watch the robots, the software robots watch what all the actions that a human is performing to complete a particular process. So once it has seen all those operations that are performed, it will mimic. In the sense, it is trained to learn all those actions that it does. It will replicate those actions for humans. So there comes the self-learning tools. And next, cognitive or intelligent automation bots. Here comes all the AI abilities where it can deal with the unstructured data and handwritten data, vision, speech, everything, right? Here, all those additional potential can be categorized under the cognitive or intelligent automation bots. Okay, so the main buzzword after we talk on RPA is the robotic process automation is the next buzzword that we hear is intelligent automation. So let us see what is intelligent automation, what is actually an intelligent automation, so what all potential does it have. So first, AI and RPA, yes, these are the two main keywords that we are going to have in the intelligent automation. And if we take AI, artificial intelligence as whole, and RPA as whole, they themselves are more transformative on their own. So when they are going to work together, they are going to be even more powerful. Like they can completely do what all things a human can do. So first thing, right, when I say AI and RPA, the first main disagreement that we see from the people is if you take the relationship between them, right? So what should I say? Whether RPA is a discipline of AI, no, they are not going to agree completely. Because let us take an example. If I say machine learning, right? So if I say machine learning, yes, each and every person is going to accept that machine learning is a discipline of artificial intelligence. It is a subset of artificial intelligence. But when I say RPA, they do not agree with it completely. So they do not agree RPA being a subset of AI completely. Because if you see, right, all the RPA things that we have discussed, all the RPA processes that we have discussed, all things that we have explained are very rule based and very standard, and they are working around structured data. In the sense, they are not being intelligent. right? So being intelligent in the sense, not mimicking the human operations, right? What are RPA bots that we have still seen so far? They are just mimicking what the humans are doing. So they are not thinking actually. So being intelligent is we do thinking, we do make a decision making and all. So RPA does not do it. Whereas artificial intelligence, the main thing that we focus on is the decision making, being intelligent. So RPA is very good in handling those repetitive rule-based tasks, which are require the human effort, right? And if we have to say in a simple sentence, it doesn't learn as it goes, as we already discussed. It will not get smarter as it works. No, as in a deep neural network, where a deep neural network comes under AI, right? So this we are going to accept as a subset of AI. Whereas when it comes to the relationship between RPA and AI, there is a little disagreement in it. And for this, the best example is the change in the fields in the web form, right? When it beams a web application, we constantly do the updates. And if there is any single slight update that we have done, RPA will not be able to identify there is a change here in the website. Please go and check that. It is not going to tell us that. So even having all these disagreements between AI and RPA, if we check the relationship between the AI and RPA these days, it is growing day by day. And how is it going? And what is the name that they have given for it is the intelligent automation, right? Um, if we go together, right? We said the relationship between them is growing day by day, and hence RPA and AI are working together. So how are they working together, right? So even if we think whether like if it really matters or not, okay, whether if RPA is a part of AI or it is not a part of AI, no problem. Uh, they are continually working with together, and their applications are growing and increasing day by day, right? So when RPA is added with AI, or the AI abilities or capabilities or added or combined with the RPA capabilities and abilities, when we say AI abilities, right, such as natural language processing, yeah, computer vision, for example, the possibility of effective automation. Yes, right. Because when we take the processes in an organization, there are also rule-based processes and also decision-making processes. And those processes are not only going to deal with the structured data. They either deal with structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. Sometimes they also can deal with image kind of data, videos, everything. So all these are different things. When I come to all these unstructured data and computer vision things and handwriting related things, AI have the capability of extracting all the data, all those unstructured data, and giving to me in a structured format. And RPA is the best at dealing with the structured format. So see, we definitely have the possibility of effective automation there. So when we say, right, when the RPA workflows, when we say the RPA workflows in the sense, the process, the various processes that we use, and to those processes for which we are thinking to apply on RPA, or enable with also these capabilities, right? All these decision nodes, where RPA itself cannot do. We do all these decision nodes with the AI. What happens is all those automations will go into a next level. So it is an innovation, we can say, because let us take a simple process where we require a human decision. So it is being an attended automation, right? So a human should be there to monitor to that one particular step. If suppose if that particular step, AI has a capability to do it, okay, separately. So AI has a capability of doing it separately. Like it is easy for AI to do. It is not that complex decision. It can do it very accurately by training with the inputs. Then what I can do is I can integrate that particular AI capability to the RPA, so that I need not to have another human to monitor it, because we might be available or we might not be available, right? We cannot work 24/7. We also go on holidays. We also have our other life things to do. So that can be replaced. It means that I'm going to take the automation to the next level. So all in this way, RPA and AI can work together. So this is a very like common sentences actually. The second sentence says adding AI to RPA, and second says RPA to AI, because when we add AI to RPA, right, we have a limitless opportunities. Why they say limitless opportunities? Because when I take RPA, right, I do have a boundary, I do have a limit, right? What are some of them? Is RPA is limited to the application. First thing, because if you see, right, if the application is slow, okay, whatever, let us take an example. I have to open an application. After you open an application, I have to download 3 Excel files from the application. If that particular application takes more time to load, say it will, I need to wait at least 2 minutes for the web page to completely load with whole content in it. So we as a human, I can see it whether it is loading or it is very completely loaded or not. So when it comes to RPA, what we say is, okay, wait for the maximum time, right? That's all. Either human does it or RPA does it. If the application is going to respond slowly, the bot will also run slowly, right? So the RPA the efficiency of RPA, right? It depends on the application that we are dealing with. If the application is faster, robots also work faster. And the limit that comes in RPA is, see, I can only do rule-based process. I can only use structured or semi-structured data. If I have any unstructured documents in my that are used in my company, or some vision-related things that are used, all this I cannot integrate into that process, right? If I do have a process in which I have to do a handwritten recognition, sorry, yeah, okay, let us take this example. I'm going to, okay, let us take the hospital example itself. They are going to fill up the forms and give to me. If I do not have, RP do not have the capability of reading the handwriting or checking what all the checkboards that are ticked manually in that particular sheet, right? So what it does, if all those things are put in a specific structured data, then it can read. So what I do is I can use AI to because it has all those cognitive abilities, right? So AI can help there, and it can extract the data from all those handwritten and hand ticked documents, and it can convert into a structured document. And then I can give it to a RPA directly. So once this process is done, this RPA can pick up this particular one, and then it can continue with the rest of the process. So the whole end-to-end automation is possible here, right? In some of the process where these rule-based processes where all these decision-making things or other unstructured or cognitive processes are not required, we can do an end-to-end operation. But where such kind of automations are required, right? I cannot do them end-to-end. I'm going to start at step 2 or step 3 and then do with the process. But adding AI with RPA, I can also do end-to-end operation for all those complex processes. So this is the productivity that I'm going to get. And also, right, as we said, so when I do the AI things, what all things AI does, I do it, and then what all RPA things does, I do it. Without that, right, once the AI is going to do it and it is going to give me the file, I don't have to say my RPA to go and pick. It can constantly monitor if that particular file is there or not. Once it gets the file that requires, it can directly take the file and process. It means that it is going to accelerate the process. Like it is going to increase, like decrease the time in which the process is going to get completed. So when I use RPA to AI, so mutually individually they have their own benefits, and when both work together, the potential is very, very higher. And here, if we see, right, everything that is in orange is done by AI, and if we read out them, right, all those are unstructured documents, forms, mining processes, mining tasks, speed to check, all these classifying of the images, or emails, anything that is related to classification, we can do it by AI. So all these cognitive or human intelligence related capabilities are not within RPA. So what AI can do is it can make all those things ready for RPA, and then RPA can itself take all those things and then do the automation. So here there is a larger scope, right? Before we might have only a few processes, like we have many processes in an organization. Out of it, many of them can be automated. And to cover an even large area of processes in any organization, if we use AI along with RPA, what happens is there will be a larger scope of automating end-to-end process in each and every organization. We can see that for RPA, adding AI to RPA is like giving a superpower to RPA actually, because AI have all those skills, right? As we know, it can recognize speech and it can also convert speech to text, and also it can do we have multiple machine learning models, and also it also have the capability of natural language processing, all those things. So all those things, right, they are developing very rapidly, and we see it. We see a huge demand for them, right? All both AI and RPA are increasing daily. So there are more things that are changed or that are digitized in AI that are related to the human intelligence, and RPA is doing better and better, taking the advantage of artificial intelligence. So when we see the cognitive computing, right? Cognitive computing not only refers to completely software, it might be hardware or software that will mimic the functionality of the human intelligence. It means the human brain, how our brain thinks, the same capabilities. What are all the capabilities that the human brains have? We try to give those when we try to give that particular software all those capabilities, that is where the cognitive computing comes. So cognitive when cognitive services, if we say cognitive services, right, first thing that we remember is the Microsoft, because they use that more cognitive services. So all in these services, right, we will have various algorithms that are developed that solves most of the problems that comes under the category of artificial intelligence. The main objective of these cognitive services is like we have these reusable components, right? So that it makes the developers to just use them for their own applications. If we say, right, if I want to do natural language processing using Python, I have predefined packages that are already programmed. I just have to use them. In the same way, they are doing some generic one. So it is democratized AI ones. So they have some generic components that are already built, so that it is easy for the developers to use in their own apps. So this also adds, right? So it is not that difficult for us to integrate. So I am not going to, because I have put this point here, because when we say AI with RPA, it should not be that difficult, right? To integrate AI with RPA, it should be easy. See, in AI, we already have these discrete components that are developed. What I just have to do is I just have to incorporate these into the RPA tools in such a way that the user can use them within the tool. So it is easy, because I'm not going to develop them specifically so that the RPA tools can incorporate in them. So they are also being developed daily. I can just parallelly use them. So when I say these cognitive systems, right, all those intelligent systems, these are the features that they have. Each of them defines the abilities of our brain. First thing is they learn. They are adaptive, because if there is any ambiguity, we are going to get into the details and check, and then we get a clarity on it. So all this kind of things, right, they are capable of adapting it. So when there is a change in dynamic data and they have to train accordingly, they are adaptive. Because when we take our climate change, right, It is not same over the past years to the till year. So we are being adapted to it, and we understand it. So okay, this was not the same before. It is not same before in the last year. So all these kind of analysis things, right? It can also do. So interactive. Uh, RPA, right? You can ask. RPA is also interactive, right? If we see, RPA is communicating with other applications. What it is doing, it is just going and communicating and just doing some update there. That's all. But it is not going and communicating or interacting with users. Users will have their needs. They will have their own views and all, right? It cannot understand all those needs, and it cannot process them, and it cannot have a summary. Like it cannot understand what a customer needs, that he'll be comfortable or he'll be satisfied. All these things RPA cannot do. But AI, when it trained with all these appropriate inputs, right? Because the input data that we give in the training for the machine learning models or the AI models is a very important step that we do. If the input data is wrong, the output that we get is also not good, right? So, and iterative and stateful. Here, right, as we say, right, RPA do not learn as it goes. But whereas the AI models, AI has the capability of learning as it goes, because here, right, if it has seen a problem in something and we have shown this is how this particular problem is solved. So it is going to save that particular state as a memory, like how we are going to save in our memory, right, in the same way. So when we go forward, when it is going forward and after a few years, a few months, it is going to encounter the same problem. It is just going to go and check that particular state where the solution, and it can check what is the solution that it has followed then and can just reuse it. So it is just learning, like it is putting everything in its memory, and then when it sees it, it is using it. So these are all the basic human abilities that we do. So all those abilities are also given to it. And contextual is like it can identify, understand, and also extract all the elements. When we say, right, everything, syntax, meaning, time, location, profiles, tasks, goal, what is the goal that is given. So all this understanding. When it comes to RPA, right, what we say it will do, it is not going to understand why are we telling it, or those capabilities, right, it does not have. Whereas here it do have, because if we say, right, um, uh, in AI models, right, we also have these sensor informations. Looking over all the sensor informations that we got, take the temperature or humidity sensors, it will give us the weather report. So it is understanding and understanding the temperatures. It is going to give me a particular temperature. It is also able to define if that particular temperature, with that particular temperature, whether the weather is going to be cool, or it is going to be hot, or it is going to be moderate, so it is going to be rainy. So all these understanding and meaning it can do. So all these are the capabilities that AI have. So all these data, uh, it gets it, and it can make it to a structured one, and all these structured and very organized data the RPA can process very easily. Okay, this is an example where this is a video from UiPath. I'll just play the video. Like we discussed on, right, we will get an limitless automation capabilities when we really endure this AI and RPA working together. So this is a simple example of the couple who want to take buy a home of their want by getting a loan from a bank, like we all do. So as we know, right, there will be many processes in the loan. It will take more time for the loan to get approved, to end, from start to end, where in end we say we get the daily update messages of what our loan status is. So till the start application to all those updates about our loan application, everything can be achieved with the combination of AI and RPA. Just a interesting video. Can you hear the voice in the video? Can anyone tell me that?
No, no, Soumya, voice is not clear.
No, ma'am.
Now, sir?
No.
No.
Okay, okay, maybe you can go on with the CC. Okay, you cannot hear the voice of the video, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll explain it for you. You can go on with the video. So, uh, so they are going to get different loan applications. So it takes more and more time. All those applications get and this particular person to get whole loan to get. So what they are doing is they are taking one, they can just a minute. Okay. Uh, the couple are going to have a home, taking a loan from a bank. But as we all know, the approval of the loan and whole process might take more than a month. So for them, it is going to take 42 calendar days. And so they are also worried because by then, whatever the home that they have seen, right, to buy, they are not sure if that home is going to be there till then. But when we take a bank, so there are multiple applications that are coming in. Not only these couple will apply for loan, right? There will be hundreds and thousands of people applying for loans daily, and they are thinking of which bank to apply so that they will get their loan approved as soon as possible. So they have chosen a bank which runs with AI plus RPA internally. So they have gone there and they have given the application. So here, right, with this AI enabled bank, they do have the automations that are enhanced with AI, so they can also read the credit what they have and what are all the debit items that they have to do, everything, right? All those things they'll take it from their bank accounts and it will fill into it. After the deed, right, which we write, give it in the handwritten one, also the inspection note that we give in the handwritten one, all this they have to log into the system typing it. So here AI will do it by reading it and extracting it to a structured format, and RPA can take it and put it into these systems by typing it. So what happens is all those process, right, where human abilities are needed, AI does the process. Where rule-based processes are involved in the process, all those things the AI does. So at last, right, what happens is the applications will be completed at faster. And then after all the process is done, they'll be getting a notification. So accordingly, in AI, we can use the chatbots, which are going to give the updates and also status on this particular loan of what they are getting, and it will make them the loan to be approved and completed in process within a week, or might be if the process is very faster, right? I'm not sure how much appropriate time it is going to take, but it's not going to take 42 days for them. So that is why we so this is a simple example, right, of going on with like what are all the possibilities that I can have when I combine RPA and AI. So that is a very simple example that we have. So the best of two worlds, yes. The one is the RPA and other is the AI. So the best of the two worlds, we call it as the intelligent automation or the intelligent process automation. Like we discussed on till now, right? Or it is the combination of all the abilities that PA have and also AI have. So in the previous video where we saw, right, where all these human related things, AI related things are needed. Now if you see the inspection statement and the bond, wherein it has to extract the data from a handwritten document. Then I'm going to use AI. Once I get all the data in a structured format to fill into my bank application, I'm going to use RPA. So it is a process which involves both human intelligence and also a rule-based process, a simple rule-based process. So the process itself is a combination of RPA. If I'm going to do only RPA for it, it will be in bits and pieces, right? I either have to start from step 2 and stop at step 7, and then I have to wait for a human to do the process the inputs. And once the human does all the process, then I should start the RPA. But when I use AI here, what happens is I can do the automation from end to end. Okay, that was the whole idea for having that video. So the best of two worlds. These four are very little, very few of them. Advanced computer vision, unattended robotics. As I said, right, there will be no human intervention. From start to end, whole process can be automated. And also RPA or AI both have the capabilities of interacting with the third-party services. For example, IBM or Microsoft, right? They have their own cloud AI models built in from where users can use. So RPA has the capability of interacting with those cloud-based models and use those AI models that are given there in its particular automation process. And natural language processing and machine learning services are also moved to cloud and also are on-premise, because so that on cloud and on-premise here is because the RPA that we use, right? The RPA tool. Here we are specifically talking on the RPA tool. If I'm using a desktop version, I can use the on-premise. If I'm using a cloud version, I can use the cloud services of these natural language processing machine learning models. So that actually these tools are actually incorporating it. I'll show you in the commands that we have. Let me show that. Okay, let me log in. So this is how the Automation Anywhere web version looks. There are other tools also. I'm just showing it as an example because I'm familiar with it. So they call it as a digital workforce platform because all the processes are digitized, and say all those bots, right, that they use, they call it as digital workforce. Okay, and so this is the community edition. This is not a whole enterprise edition. And if you see here, right, there is something called cognitive automation, IQ bot. So what is actually the IQ bot? Like if, for example, let us take the purchase request PRs or something. So what we are going to do is we are going to get either a PDF format or an invoice forms. Okay, let us take the invoice forms. For easy understanding. So let me take the invoice. Okay, let us start with the invoice forms. So there, right, each and every invoice form will have a particular fields. Okay, the date of the invoice and on whose name the invoice is, and what is the address, and what is the address of that particular organization from which we are getting an invoice, and what is the total price, and what are all the total items, the name of the items, and how much count and each item have. So all these information will be in invoice, and each and every organization will have their own invoice format, right? We will not form everyone will not have the same template. Each and every organization will have different template. So IQ bot, what it does is, it is RPA with AI and machine learning models into it. So what it does is, we will first give a particular invoice. It is already a trained one. It is trained for recognizing the fields. IQ bot is trained for recognizing the fields. So when I give my invoice, right, what it does is, it will extract whatever the fields it is able to extract. and then it will give us a list. So I can check there if all the fields are extracted correctly or not. Did it identify the date as date? Did it identify the name as name? Or it identified it wrong? So we'll check it. If everything is good, it is okay. If it is not good, then what I have to do? Then I have the ability, there I have a provision to recapture it. I can retrain it. No, whatever the field you have selected is wrong, I will manually capture that particular field and tell this as this is the correct field. So it will learn from it. So we will give 10, 20 of 10 to 20 invoices for it to learn. So when I give the 21st invoice, it is going to extract the data. So based on the template, right? If the organization is very clumsy, it might need more number of invoices. If it is very clean and neat, it might take very few number of invoices to get trained. So that is an IQ bot. Another interesting one is the discovery bot. Here, right, generally when we do a process automation, I am going to teach the robot each and every step that I have to do. Whereas in the discovery bot, what I can do is I will just show what are all the steps that I'm doing continually without stopping. What this discovery bot will do is it will identify what all actions that I have performed and it will give me a abstract code. Like I don't have to code, I don't have to start coding from zero. I can start coding from 50%. I just have to see whether all the commands are good or not. If this command is not good, I just have to re-enter that command or replace that command with another command like we need, right? All those things we can do. And we add some error handling to it and all. So that things we can do. So I don't have to start from zero. So this is how it looks. And as I said, in activity, we have in progress and historical and also scheduled. As this is not a enterprise version, I do not have an option of schedule. So schedule is where I will tell I have to run this particular bot at this particular time on this particular device. And in progress, we'll have all the bots that are running currently on any device. Historical has all the records that are that ran and whether it is completed or it is failed. So whatever the status, right? Deploy failed in the sense it was not able to start running on a particular machine and all. So in bots, I have under my bots, I have all these bots that I develop put in here. So if I want to add a particular folder, I can add and I can also have it there. So this is if I open a bot, right, this is where the edit option of the bot comes up. If you see here, right, these are all the variables we have seen like we have in the programming language, right? We have the system defined variables and also we have the user defined variables. Whichever is comfortable for us, we do it accordingly. And when I come to actions, these are all the various actions that I can do. So as I said you, right, if you see here, it is using AWS NLP. And also it is trying to contact with the Google G Suite things. It means it comes whole G Suite applications under which calendar, drive, sheets, slides, everything comes under it. And if you see here, right, it is also communicating with the IBM Watson for speech to text models. So all these things, right, these are all AI enabled things. So all these AI enabled cognitive services, all those components are put into the AI tool itself for the user to use it easily. Okay. And when it comes to the user interface, as I said, right, this is the flow. And as I said, right, this is one step. I'm going to open site and extract to CSV. If I want to open site, the command that I have to do is launch website. And then if I want to extract, right, so I do a capture of the table and then extract it to a CSV file. So these are all the steps in which we put in the commands, and this we can also view it as a list and we can also view it as both. So this is where credentials are stored. These are lockers. Lockers are required for reusing the credentials. I will, if I, after I create a credential, right, I have to assign it to a locker so that I can use my bots. If I create a credential, I can just here. If I want to use it, I have to go to my, I have to assign this particular credential to one of the lockers. If I say it is Gmail login and I have two Gmails, I can create two credentials here with one username, password, another username and password. And I can create one locker that is named as Gmail's login. And I can assign those two credentials to one locker. So we can like easy organizations can group all those things. And here, when it comes to my devices, right? These are all the devices that are connected. So this is my personal laptop. As this is a web application, right? Currently, I'm using another laptop. So this is a device that was connected, and currently it is not connected, right? If I want to add a device, I can just say add, then connect to my computer. And as it is a web application, right? Uh, okay, when it is in a web application, everything. So if I and it is simple. So it is a web application. I'm opening it on any system and doing it. So when I'm doing it in such a way, it means that if I want to interact with the files that are present on my local system, how will it interact? It will not know, right? So I just have to connect with my device. This will enable as a connector between the web application and the device. And once it is installed, we will enable the AI extension in our web page so that it can interact with our computer system. And once it is connected, we'll get the status as connected here. So these are the discovery and IQ bots things, and these are the administration. There is just one because there will be all others also, users, roles, everything, different kind of things. Like that is very advanced thing. Okay, I can say these are all my settings. So in community edition, we don't have everything exposed. They'll just give the gist of what are all the operations that we have here. And this is the whole heart. The control room for the automation anywhere is the whole heart for the RPA. So each and everything that we do, right, I can check it here. So this is the dashboard where I can get all the insights of what I am doing. And here, right, bot insights. When I this is community edition, right? I didn't use even much. When there are massive amounts of digital workforce that are deployed, and if I want to get some insights on it, right? Ultimately, when a business is in the corporate role, right, across the globe, when a business is using a particular software, they tend to check on how efficient it is, how much cost it is saving from a business. So that is the main objective. By the end of the day, even though they say this is the best application, they are going to tell it on the basis of money-driven things, right? So all those insights we can get it from here. So this is the UI. Like this is very simple, right? I just have to go to bots. I can create my first bot, and whatever the action that I want to perform, I can just search, or I can just take it from here. So it is a comment. So I can just drag and drop the comment here, and I can give the comment what I have to put in my comment. And this say save. So I just have to know what are all these actions are going to do. But if we see, right, most of the actions, the meaning of what that particular action does is very into it, right? If I say browser, do you want to download a file broken links and launch website? Yes, I want to deal with a browser and I want to launch a website. That is clear, right? A CSV or text file. So do I want to open or close or read a CSV or text file? So most of the operations, right, are very simple. Only some of the things, right, that we have. So when I say email, when I'm using Gmail, there will be the port settings that we have to do when we want to connect to it, and then send an email and then disconnect. So all those little things are easy for us to do. And we also can do a file transfer and also secure file transfer also. So all these are different things. So the JSON object manager is something which we use for authentication, right? If I want to talk with the Google Suite, if I want to do some Excel sheet operations, I have to get the authentication using the client ID and client secret, the OAuth client ID, so that I can save it in the form of a JSON file, and then I can do. And also, you can also, like I said, right, it can also perform all the OneDrive operations. And like we also discussed, it can also work with scripts. If you see here, right, it can work with the Python script. So if the Python script is placed in the web server itself, okay. Else, if I want to take it from my local, I can also take it from there. So whatever the Python script that I need to run as the flow of the process, I can do it from here. So that is the best of the two worlds. And let us see an example of how the RPA actually helped COVID-19 in the healthcare, because like we said, right, the hospitals got a very huge rush in the pandemic period. And so let us see how a good RPA has contributed in there. And also right, as in news, all those organizations that have adopted the RPA or the automation of the processes within their organization before the pandemic, all those organizations found to have a very smooth business flow. They had a very smooth business flow even in the pandemic time. For all those who did not have, they did really face few challenges. And as also, right, they also have seen and recognized the importance of having the processes automated, because, right, and this is a pandemic time and we don't know whether who are the victims, right? Our employees or the workers, anyone can be the victim. So when that particular victim is not available for us, and also we do not have an option of hiring the people just like that here in the pandemic. So all those times, right, you see, having a process automated, it is very helpful, right? So, so let us say it. Let me try to play in the YouTube so that if you can hear it. Can you hear it from here?
No, Soumya, not here. No problem, Soumya.
Yeah. So here, right, the one use case that they have developed is the clinical form automation. You see, right, as we said, these are all the forms that are filled by humans. So these are of 10-page documents where we have different check boxes, sometimes written dates and all. So that is the COVID-19 form. So all those check boxes that are checked. So what are all the symptoms? It might be everything. So all those things can be performed by the IQ bot by training, where from there we'll get a CSV file. So we also in the CSV file. This is the IQ bot workflow as they showed. So once they have got all those rates, they have developed those IQ bots and they are just running the IQ bots now. So once all those trained IQ bots run, all those check boxes information, right? What are all the check boxes that they have checked, either regarding to the symptoms or any other information that the hospital need, will be extracted to a CSV file into a structured data format. So here, right, we also see, right, so these are all the check boxes, yes or no, everything as they are showing. So all those check boxes are extracted in a very structured format here. So once the AccuBot workflow is completed, they are moving to the Microsoft Cognitive Services to extract the handwriting. Like we said, right, reading, we also know it. When we want to deal with the handwritten documents, we will look at the cognitive services. So now, once they have used the cognitive services, and now they are going to check on it. So all those data, right, the handwritten data, This is the address that is extracted. And these are all the other comments field that is extracted. So if we see, all the handwritten things in the form are extracted. So, and from the CSV file and the JSON file, the consolidated data will be given in a report. So all this data, right? Once I have got the data, what I do is I have to enter into my hospital portal, right? All to my hospital system. So I am going to enter it there. And also, right, the data that we have got here, right, I can also use it for survey, because if you see, right, once I get all these documents, once I get all the fields of the symptoms and all, I can also do a computation on it of what are all the major symptoms that a particular person affected with COVID-19 have. So it will also help in a further process. So this is a simple use case where it helped, right? You see, this is the basic step that each and every organization does. And today as we have seen in the pandemic, right, we do not get tens and thousands of cases, they are in lakhs. So if a human has to do all these things to process and all, it's really a hectic work. You see how hard they would have worked for us in the pandemic. So this just makes a job easy for them. So okay, so now as we have seen, right, what are all the capabilities of RPA, and what are all the enhanced capabilities and potentials that we get when we combine AI with RPA. Let us see what are all the benefits we have already seen. We'll just have a gist of it. And when we are working with a particular technology, right, we should also analyze the risks that we are going to get. Because it is just because we have to be prepared, right? So what are all the chances where we are going to get the risks? So what are all the challenges that I might face? If I don't have to face all those risks or challenges, what are all the steps that I have to follow, or what are all the questions I need to get answered? So all those things. So like we said, right, it is not like we cannot just ask how can we utilize RPA, where can we apply RPA, how good it is. So we should also ask how does RPA impact our risk profile. So when it comes to the benefits, they are very, very clear. They are very direct also. As first thing is very great thing for our workforce. It is going to liberate all of our workflow from these repetitive and mundane tasks, giving more productive and more creative time for them to spend with, like more valuable time for them. And also it in tune with the business tempo. Yes, because as we discussed, right, in the pandemic period, if suppose a particular process is carried out by a particular person daily in an organization, and if suppose that particular person has got affected with COVID-19, he will not work, right? That's all. He health first, right? He has to be there. So who is going to do this process? If we have a backup of someone who know the process well, okay. Else, there will be some disturbance in the process flow of the business, right? So if we want to ignore all those things, what we can do is we can just mimic all those operations that the person does. So however, when he works, right, he can just check on things out, are they correct or not. He'll check the inputs and the outputs. However, so in the absence of him, we will not be checking the inputs and outputs, but we'll at least get some information so that the business process flow is not getting disturbed. Like we will not have any wall in between. We'll at least be capable of working for other 10 days or 15 days without his support, right? So it keeps working 24/7 years. And it is truly agile, and it is self-servicing, and it is easily integrated. Like we saw, I do not have to change all the infrastructure that I have. I can just incorporate within the infrastructure that I'm already doing, and it can easily interact with all the applications also. And also they are easily integrating all the AI and ML models into the RPA tools also. Next, eliminates human errors. Yes, when I'm going to do the same task again and again, same calculation again and again throughout the day, I might do it wrong at least once. and that is not something bad. We as humans, it is possible for us to do. So all those human errors can be eliminated, and better management capabilities, yes. So when we are going to have a free time without putting complete effort on doing some repetitive tasks, this helps us to get at some free time wherein I can just monitor if the job is working fine or not. If not, what I have to do, I just have to check what are all the errors are, that's all. So it will give us a time for us to manage things in a better way. So these are all the direct benefits that we have. So what are all the RPA failures? So what are all the chances in where the RPA can fail actually? Okay. So first thing, as we already discussed this point, what is limited to the speed of the application. If the application is going to respond slow, the bot has to wait for that particular period of time for the application to respond. It will not make the application faster, right? We can, if you want to make the bot to run faster, we have to make the application to work faster. So whatever the speed of the application, the same speed the bot will have. If the application is fast, then the bot will give us the reports even faster. If it is slow, that will also be slow, like it will not be fast. Okay. And second thing, when we are starting, right, when we are in the process of starting, of choosing the processes so that we can apply RPA on it, most of the enterprises will not have the defined process, because there will be different departments working in it, different people working in it. The same process I can do in a different way, the other person can do it in a different way, right? They will not follow a defined process. So if I want to start the automation, there is a chance of either I select a wrong thing for the process to automate. Sorry. Okay. One way is, we have discussed on a checklist, right, where we check on whether this particular process is suitable for RPA or not. So I can just go and check all those checklists, and I can compare with the process that I am looking for to apply the RPA. So this will help me to select the correct process to automate, to start in my organization. Okay. So first thing, we want to identify, optimize, and prioritize the process. Okay. Okay. When I come to optimizing, right, it means, see, as I said, right, the same process two persons are working on, I do it in a different way and she do it in another way. So what is the optimal way that I can follow for completing the process without changing the whole process, like from the back itself? So just the steps that I follow, and what are all the checks that I do, everything. So I just have to optimize the process in such a way that it will be friendly for the robot to deal with. So this is one of the things that we have to keep in mind. And next thing, okay, second thing is, when we want to use RPA for more effectively, giving us more cost savings, it is not only important for us to select the right processes. After we select the right processes, right, we have to prioritize the process. So what is the process that I have to do first so that I do a cost saving this year? No. Say I have 3 automations. One automation is saving me 10,000, and other automation is saving me 1 lakh, another is saving me 2 lakhs. So which automation should I start with? If I do the automation, right, if I complete the automation, it is going to save me that particular amount per month. So which automation do I start? Yes, I have to start with the automation which is giving me 2 lakh savings per month, because by the end of the year I'm going to say 24 lakhs. If I start with 10,000, I'm not going to do it, right? I'm just going to say 1 lakh 10,000 by the end of the year. So in that way, we have to prioritize. And also, as I said, right, when we have the bots that are developed, and there is a question that you asked, whether the bot can interact with the applications using the user ID and password that the employees have, right? So we should also take care of all those approval kind of things, because we cannot give the employees to do it, or use an employee ID to it, because he has to use it in another application, because everything will be locked, right? So we have to take care of all those approval things, and what are all those accesses that are required that for the automation to go on. Everything we have to take care of. Otherwise, like, okay, I'm automating the process, why can't it do it? No, it will not do, because there are some things that we have to do, we have to do them. Okay. And then after we do all these, right, before we are going to start the development, testing, and having a very good development protocols, we have to check whether these questions. Have we selected the right process? So for selecting the right process, we can have a checklist. And have we optimized the process before we automate it? Are we doing the actions, or are we training the bot with the actions that are friendly for it to do, or whether I have to do it in a different way without changing the process? So all the upstream and downstream linkages are known. This means that, see, for example, if there is a process completely end-to-end process where it is getting input from another process, and the output of this particular automated process is going as an input to the other process, right? So there is a link between one process before and one process after. So when the first process is going to give the inputs, and this job has to take the inputs from it. So if the inputs are delayed from that particular process, how long this process can wait? So what is the critical percentage for it? So how long the users or the customers can wait for it? So all these things. Suppose this particular job has a responsibility of providing the outputs for the next job, right? So how long, if suppose there is an error in this particular job, so how long can that particular process wait? So all these criticality things has to be checked, and all those before and after things has to be checked, because each and suppose let us take the manufacturing company. When it is a manufacturing company, right, it will be any product, they'll be having different machines working on, and where they have to check the data of each and every machine, so that they'll make sure that each and every machine is up and good. Okay, so that there will be no defect in the product, right? So when they are doing it, they have to do it daily. They have to do it daily in the morning before the manufacturing actually starts, or the manufacturing is continuous. They have to check them very periodically and at a particular time. So if suppose, right, they have to check in the 8 a.m. morning. If the automation job has gone, it found some issue, or if some server issue has occurred and the automation was not able to run. And so what is the criticality for it, right? It is very required, right? They have to be notified before, so that they will get the data ready by 8 o'clock. Else there will be some disturbance there, definitely, because it is very important for them to do it daily. So we have to check on all those linkages that we have with all those things. So next, so management and ongoing support and maintenance of robots, right? So like I said here, right, when we are checking for the upstream and downstream linkages, we also have to have one thing in mind is, have we developed a recovery plan or not? Because like we said, right, if suppose on that day the automation was not able to run, do I have a recovery plan so that I can replace it? If it is a non-critical process, if I can run it on the next day, that is not a problem. Or if I can run it after few hours, it is not at all a problem. But if it is a critical process and I should have the data on that day by that particular time, I should definitely have a recovery plan. Okay, all those things. Next, how do we manage changes? See, when we are working with any application that is subjected to updates yearly or twice in a year, so there will be some changes that we are going to do. Or suppose think most of the organizations used either G Suite or Microsoft 360 Microsoft Office, Microsoft OneDrive completely to do their operations. If suppose if I think of migrating from G Suite to Microsoft Office or to some other technology, So how am I going to deal with all those changes? Do I have to take only minimal changes for it, or there will be a huge impact for it? Suppose think I have to develop a robot for an application that is going to be changed in 1 month. So what is the effect I have to put in it? If it is really that cost saving, I can do it. Else I can ignore. So all those things I have to see. Next, who will oversee the bot operations? Like we said, right, the RPA bots will only do rule-based process and also with the structured data. I cannot oversee beyond that, right? Yeah, if I ask the bot to make yourself some decisions, if some error comes, go on, right? So we should not see all those operations overseen before we select a process. So all these things also we have to take care of. So next, what could actually go wrong? Okay, first thing after we deploy the bot completely, we definitely have to do a review. And one thing that we need to check for sure for any application, like any robot, is whether the processing and the rules decisions that are made by the robot align with the expectations or not. So whatever we expected, for whatever we train the bot for, are we getting those actually or not? Okay, first for those, right, what some of the things that I can check or I can always remember so that the bot will align with the expectations or not is, first thing, risk of missing rules. So first thing, if suppose in a process there are whole of 10 rules that a bot has to follow. uh, like when I am training the bot, okay, I have missed some one rule. I missed some one rule. I did not update it or train it to my bot. It will not do it for you. Whatever we did, RPA will do it. Whatever it is trained for, it will do it. If we missed, it will also miss. So we have to be careful of training all the rules that we want in the process. So process are not mapped correctly. See, these automated activities, right? In a process, we will have a number of steps, and all these steps will follow a sequence. So sometimes the output of step 1 can be used as the output of step 3. I cannot perform this step 3 first, right? No, I should map in this way itself. After this step 1, step 3 has to come. This is how the mapping should be. So all those mapping should be performed correctly so that unexpected things won't happen. And also we have to check the mapping of other to the other automations, like how we discussed, right? If there are any linkages between this automation previously or after this automation completes, so everything is correctly mapped or not. Because suppose think this particular automation will generate an Excel file that has to be placed in the Google Drive. And once it is placed in a Google Drive, its job is done. There is another automation which is going to download that Google Sheet from the Google Drive and use it. So we have to make sure that we are going to generate the file and place in that particular folder from where the other automation is taking. So everything has to be mapped correctly. Next, natural human safeguards removed. And when we say, right, when we say only RPA do not have the capability of intelligence. Like it cannot do the human decision making. So when there are some processes which need human attention to it, we has to provide it. Seeing the automation word in the robotic process automation, if we take it, like if we oversee it, like if we get it wrong, we will consistently get it wrong, because that is not going to do the job for us, right? It is not going to identify and say this has changed, so I have to do this work. So we cannot do it. If it is a critical process, it is a process that human has to pay attention. We have to pay attention. That is our responsibility. So this thing, right? RPA eating into human jobs? No, it's a big no. RPA will not eat into any of our human jobs. If we, this is a basic question that we all have, right? Whenever we hear the word automation itself, we just get into mind somewhere, no humans will be there, only robots will do the work, leaving the humans unemployed. No. So when we take it right, when we especially come to RPA, the origin of it, the traces of it, and the evolution of RPA as a particular technology, as one of the concepts in the technology, came from uh, freeing up the bandwidth of the employees. Okay, to free up the employee bandwidth without putting them into some very mundane and repetitive tasks. For this particular idea, we have got the RPA into light. Like they have come up with a technology like this, right? So main initiative, right, why we are deploying the RPA is for the optimal usage of the resources. And when we talk about resources, employees are the first and main and most important resources for any organization or institute, right? So if I want to use my employees very effectively, what I have to do is I have to give my employee to the ability for him to be innovative, to be creative. Only then the change is possible, right? If only when we think and we act creatively and we think of innovating new things, some new changes are going to happen within an organization. And when an organization hires an employee, organization or institute will expect that from the employee. So if these useful resources, right, are going to work on some repetitive boring jobs, so how will their time be very useful? How will they contribute to the organization or contribute to some change? No, that is not possible, right? So the main need of the RPA comes from to automate the high volume task and execute all those activities which are highly transactional in nature. Okay, so as it does this, right, when it does this, so when it is going to deal with all these high volume activities and all, automatically we will get the cost benefits, right? Because our employees are going to work on more creative things, and all these repetitive tasks are done by our software robots, and these software robots are also developed by our employees, right? So what we are telling the employees to do is, instead of you doing the repetitive tasks, you just train that particular bot to do the same things that you are doing. So when I say, so they themselves are going to reflect them in the form of a software robot. So there is no chance of like you're going to get your job gone in few days. Okay, but this particular role, right, wherein you have to only enter data the whole day, the data entry job, if we say, if we have those kind of jobs, that might go off in future, but in that place, right, only the data entering work is gone, but not RPA, right? The data entering have different processes, and those processes are to be automated, and those we are doing it. So there are new opportunities with a different type of work that we do. So the opportunities will not go off. It's just that the type of the opportunities go off. The number of opportunities that we have, the number of jobs that the human can have, will always be the same. Uh, so this is what I would I want to share with you all today. So do we have any questions?
Yeah, chat box, some queries is there. Can you please check?
Yes, sir, I'm checking that.
Yeah, thank you, Soumya.
Okay, Ashish, in bank loan example, what are all processes that are processed through AI? So if we take, right, we will have some bonds that are handwritten and submitted, or some of the files that we are going to give to the bank in exchange of loan, right? If I'm not going to pay some loan, I'm going to give them some proof things and all. So if those things have something which is handwritten, all those things, right, will be extracted, but when it is a bank, right, it is going to enter each and every detail into its bank system, so that if in future, right, if user is going to ask, no, I did not give it, no, you have given it, this is the record that we have. So all those changes, right, it has to do, it will do it. And whatever the bank fillings that they will ask, right, the loan form that they give to us, we are going to handwritten it. And once I have written it all and checked it and all the amount that I have given, everything, only after that, what they do is they'll take that particular form and they're going to enter into my bank system. So what happens here is, AI can extract all those fields. It will extract my name, what is the loan, so what is the monthly uh, cutoff that has to be taken from my account, and what are all the interest things, what is the loan option that I have chosen, so what is the type of loan I have chosen, housing loan, or whether it is a car loan, whatever things I have chosen, everything from that handwritten document, and will be giving it as a structured file. So this structured file can be used by RPA, and it will do the next process. Yeah, okay, I think you got it. Yes, I will share my email ID, sir, Prashant, sir. Even we can use RPA for strengthening of process and making it error-free, data cleansing, and doing work within times. Not necessary if it is economical or not, definitely if management approves. Yes, yes. Uh, if it is making the human job easy, we will do it. Can we have connection between RPA or AI and robotics-based industrial automation? Industry. I'm sorry, Pramod. I didn't get on industrial automation. Can you explain it? Pramod, are you there?
Yes, Miss. The what I meant was that in the manufacturing industry,
Yeah.
whether in the manufacturing industry, we have all these robotics-based automation, where we have automated guided vehicles, CNC machines, then robotic manipulators. There we have set up there. So can we have connection between this RPA, as you told, Blue Prism, automation anywhere, or UiPath with this CNC machines and industrial robotics and AGVs, etc.
Okay, those are also the software machines, right? That, sir, that will take care of some.
Yes, miss. They are all completely controlled by computers.
Yeah. Whatever all the computerized applications that we have, right? And if they are not critical, because some of the companies will not allow it. They find it risky for a bot or even humans to directly interact with it, sir. Because like if we take, right, the manufacturing company, they'll have different versions of their products that they will release, and they will have different customers, and each and every customer will have their own version and own design. So all those records, right, they will be having in their main principal management system. So for that access, right, they might not give it directly, but as it is a computer based application, right, and we also have the other places where I can just display the data from that critical applications, I can use RPA and AI to work there. So as long it is computerized, right, it is easy for RPA and AI also to communicate with them. We can use them there also. Like I'm not very specific what are all the industrial automation applications will do it. So I'm not able to provide an example in there, sir. Sorry.
Some examples are where we can automate or the assembly. For example, we have a car manufacturing industry.
Okay.
So the right from the engine assembling to all the parts, painting, welding, material handling of the using cranes, material handling, pick and place. All these are done by robots.
Yeah.
And there human beings are not involved. There only the machines and computer controlled machines are involved.
Okay, wherein they are going to log each and every step, right? So whether this particular step is completed or not. Yes, we can keep track of that, sir, using RPA. We can check whether till what step it is done and what is the status of that. We can get it. Because, right, I have seen some of the manufacturing industries giving their data in some form of reports. like all those computer-based applications, right, in the form of reports, from where users also will go and check. So, so there is a possibility of using RPA and AI there too. So,
Okay, madam. Thanks.
thank you, sir. So,
Any other participants? Any queries?
so
Okay.
I just
Uh,
type email ID in chat box.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, my heartful thanks to my student, today resource person, for accepting the invitation to deliver the brilliant session on RPA tools for industry perspective. Thank you very much, Somya. Thanks a lot for being a busy schedule, accepting my invitation. Thank you very much, Somya.
Thank you, sir. This is really a wonderful session. I'm really happy to be here today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you very much, Somya. Your session is very good, very brilliant, excellent, Somya. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sir.
Yeah, all
You,
participants.
yeah, thank you for all the participants for being more interactive, and I got very interesting questions in here also. Thank you for being with me for these two sessions and asking on few questions, and it was very encouraging for me also to explain to you all. Thank you for all who have made your time for joining this session today.
Yeah, thank you, Somya. Yeah. All participants are requested to rejoin at 2:30 p.m. The afternoon session is very important session for your mental and emotional development, stress management, meditation, human values and ethics and health, happiness, etc. Please, all participants are requested to join at 2:30 p.m. and also please interact with the resource person. That resource person told that please interact with the whenever doubt you ask doubt, can you ask that resource person told like that. Please, all participants are requested to interact with the resource person. The afternoon session is very good session, for it is the not related to topic RPA tool. It is related to our mental and emotional development, stress management and meditation and human values and ethics and health and happiness. Thanking you one and all. Thanking you, Soumya.
Yeah, thank you, sir.